More than 5 months ago, we drew some of the Straw Hat members as Gotei 13 Bankai releases, and although it performs alright, it's not enough to continue the series even further. But since it won by a landslide on our last poll on Patreon, I guess I have the force to use my tiny brain again, come up for more broken and ridiculous abilities and illustrate it on paper for your own entertainment. We have 7 more Straw Hat Pirates members left, so how about we show the Bankai releases of the next 3 Straw Hat members? Can you guess what silly abilities could I come up again this time? Let's find out in a few moments. This video contains spoilers, so please watch at your own risk. So strap in, let's grab our pencil, and let's draw, even if we are. First of all, just to clarify things for those who are not aware, I tend to stop continuing a series if I felt it didn't perform well, and that includes this series. But I always include a discontinued series once in a while on our monthly poll in Patreon, and since this video won convincingly, I'm more than happy to continue it. So if you'd like to vote for our upcoming videos, it would be awesome if you consider joining our Patreon community. Starting with the 8th Division Captain, our boy Usopp. As I've mentioned from our last Bankai videos of this series, I tend to choose their strongest attacks as the main idea for their Bankai and work around it. And based on my research, well, it's been a while since I've watched One Piece honestly, Usopp's strongest attack is arguably the lethal green star that he used in the Wano arc, in which it includes exploding pine cones. Contrary to most of the Bankai releases, I decided to not change the form of his Zanpakuto and just use his current Shikai form, which is a green slingshot in a long staff but with additional abilities and will serve as an extension of Usopp's Shikai ability. Since Usopp tends to use plant-based attacks, it would be awesome if he creates a perimeter by unleashing green roots into the ground that spans 3 kilometers in diameter. Enemies within Usopp's perimeter and are obviously marked by his yellow pellets can then hear Usopp's voice. Before we continue, I also just recently started selling all of my original artworks that is made on this channel. So, if you're interested in buying one including this artwork, be sure to check my shop in the description below or email or DM me on Instagram. I think it would also be fun to incorporate Usopp's character, in which he tends to lie to his opponents for his advantage. So how about we give Usopp the ability to tell lies to every enemy who hears him, and anyone who shows any slightest signs of agreement will turn their marked body parts into pine cone-shaped object that will explode depending on their actions. Doesn't make sense, right? For our next captain, the captain of the 9th Division, Winsmoky Sanji. To be completely honest, I really don't like Sanji's Shikai release, as I feel like I could have done some significant improvements if I had the time. I felt I really didn't give it enough justice, so this might be the perfect time to redeem myself and give him a much more nonsense ability worse than his Shikai. Although all of us know that Sanji never used his hands in fighting, this fighting style might be a total baloney if he's a Shinigami in the Bleach universe, wherein a katana that is meant to be held by hand is used as the main weapon. So I think it would make sense if Sanji will definitely use his hands in fighting regardless of his original fighting style. And now for his Bankai form, I still think it's a sin if we don't give tributes to his fighting style as well as to his character. So for his Bankai release, I include many features that is only attributed to Sanji, including 2 elongated butcher knives as his main weapon, as a reference to his character as a cook. And speaking of being a cook, how about we amplify it by creating a large portal resembling a cooking pan that creates a pathway wherein Sanji steps in and will serve as his platform. This pathway spans 20 meters and will point in the direction of the enemy where Sanji is facing. It would be awesome if the pathway keeps getting hotter, that changes colors depending its temperature towards the middle, making it harder for the opponent to engage. Also, I would love to incorporate Sanji's physical abilities and the abilities he gained from his Germa suit. So how about we give him enhanced durability, speed, agility, and invisibility? Anyways, his Bankai ability will be further discussed in detail after I finish this illustration. But before you skip this boring speed drawing, what can you say about his Bankai form? Did I give it justice than its previous version? I would love to read about your thoughts in the comment section. There's really not that much distinctive ability that Carrot's Bankai release possess aside from it being an upgrade version of her Shikai. Because of this, I think her Bankai is the easiest there is that I could think of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Carrot's Sulong form is arguably her ultimate attack, so it would be a no-brainer to use it as our reference. Instead of being a large bulky gauntlet, I'd like to imagine her Bankai release to be a slim silver armor with claws in every finger and covers her entire limbs. Aside from that, instead of her having a long white hair as the product of her Sulong form, I think it would be cooler to just use lightning engulfing her head down to her neck that somehow resembles as a hair. Anyways, if you love reading webcomics, I just recently created my own webcomic series entitled BMW, short for Beyond New Worlds. It's a slice of life comic with a bit of romantic comedy, fantasy, and sci-fi. The story revolves around a character named Jack Jessup, who owns a failing home video rental store. Together with his friends and some non-human characters, they'll face the reality of the modern world. My dream is to make this comic running for years to come, so if you're interested in reading my webcomic series, give it some love by checking out my Patreon in the link in the description. As I've mentioned a while ago, since it's a stronger version of her Shikai release, it's pretty much the same ability to its predecessor, but a stronger and an electrifying faster version. There are actually very rare humanoid animal races in Bleach, so it's safe to say Carrot and Kumamura might have a very similar attribute. Because of this, I have the idea to give Carrot a certain condition, in which case while she gets stronger and faster over time, she'll slowly lose her ability to empathize, thus losing her humanity in the process. This will lead her to become a permanent pure animal just like Kumamura if she stays too long in this state. What do you think about this idea? Thank you so much for sticking up to the end. The last part of this series is now also available, wherein I drew the Bankai release of the rest of the Straw Hat members, including Zoro and Luffy. If you'd love to see that, check the link in the description below. Also, if you still haven't seen the previous parts of this series, the links are also available in the description. Special thank you to my patrons in Patreon. This video will not be possible without your support. To see more of my content and to show your support to the channel, you might want to consider becoming a member in Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can now vote for our upcoming video topics with our monthly polls. We also have some amazing perks such as access to my full resolution drawings, early access to my future videos, coloring pages, digital drawings. You also have a chance to request your own character and get featured in my videos. And hey, I guess I also make webcomics now. For only $3 a month, you can read 2 pages a week of my silly dumb comic 3 months early. But if you're feeling impatient and doesn't want to wait every week, you can read all of the pages in one go for just $5 a month. So if you're interested in reading my webcomic, be sure to check it out. Another way to support the channel is to purchase some of my art prints in the in-print store. This includes some of my traditional drawings as well as the digital versions of my artworks. This is the That's So Good Artist, and remember, art is beautiful, life is wonderful.